Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the invisible but incredibly powerful ethical framework that guides every single teacher. It's this unseen force that shapes not just what students learn, but who they become. So, think about it for a second. What really makes a teacher great? We can all picture someone, maybe someone who totally changed things for us. But what is it that truly defines their impact? Is it just that they know their stuff or that they're super charismatic? Well, the sources we're digging into today argue that the real answer it's way deeper than lesson plans and textbooks. At its very core, teaching is a profound moral responsibility. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by peeling back this unseen moral layer of teaching. Then we'll explore 5 core virtues that guide educators. After that, we'll get clear on the whole ethics versus morality thing. And finally, we'll see how all these big ideas turn into actual rules and, what happens when those rules get broken. All right, first up, let's get one thing straight. Teaching is not a neutral act. It's not just about downloading information into a student's brain. The sources we're looking at are really clear. Teaching is fundamentally a moral craft, and every single act in a classroom is a moral act. And when you stop and think about it, it makes total sense, right? Every day, teachers are making these little value judgments. They reward certain behaviors, they penalize others. They choose which skills are important. By setting academic standards, they're making a statement. They're constantly modeling things like honesty and patience. And yeah, they are literally preparing students to be good citizens. This quote just nails it. The goal isn't just about getting good grades. It's about this crucial responsibility to enhance human welfare, to advance the well-being of students. It's about preparing them to make a positive difference in the world. So if teaching is this huge moral act, what's the guide? What helps a teacher navigate all these complex decisions? Well, the source material points to 5 core virtues. Think of them as the building blocks for ethical practice. All right, here they are. Honesty, courage, care, fairness, and practical wisdom. These 5 virtues, which were conceptualized by the philosopher Socrates, are basically the bedrock of a teacher's professional life. Let's quickly break down each one. First up is honesty. And this is way more than just don't lie. It's about intellectual honesty, being able to separate fact from fiction. This is what builds that foundation of trust with students, because if they can't trust you, how can they learn from you? Next, we have courage. This isn't about physical bravery, it's about moral guts. It's the strength to stick to what you know is right for students, even when it's hard, even when you're getting pushback or facing some serious turbulence. Then there's care. This one is so important. It's the empathetic heart of teaching. It's about seeing the whole student, not just a name on a page, and building relationships based on genuine empathy and understanding. Fairness is absolutely crucial too. When a teacher treats every single student with equity and respect, they're modeling what a just society looks like. It's all about recognizing that each student is an individual with their own thoughts, their own life, their own interests. And last but not least, practical wisdom. You can think of this one as the master virtue, the one that ties all the others together. It's the skill of actually applying all that honesty, courage, care, and fairness to make smart, reflective judgments in the messy, unpredictable reality of a classroom. Okay, now this next part is really interesting. We tend to use the words ethics and morality almost interchangeably, but the source material draws a super important line between them. It boils down to head work versus heart work. So, ethics, that's the head work. It's the formal discipline, the academic study of right and wrong. It's what gives us the rules, the codes, and the theories. Morality, on the other hand, is the heart work. It's how we actually live out our values. It's expressed in our day-to-day behavior, influenced by our family, our friends, our beliefs. It's what we do. So how does all that head work from ethics get put into action? Well, that's where the professional code of conduct comes in. It's the practical guidebook for teachers. A good code of conduct takes those big abstract virtues and turns them into clear, actionable rules. Things like deal with all students fairly, accept diversity, encourage them to set high goals, be a positive role model, don't use insulting language, respect their confidentiality. It's the list of do's that sets the professional standard. But what happens when those guidelines get broken? When does an action cross that ethical boundary and become actual misconduct? Let's see how the source material defines it. It's really broken down into 2 main categories: serious misconduct and minor misconduct. The serious stuff involves major violations, sometimes even criminal offenses. Minor misconduct is more about the lesser infractions, often stuff related to negligence or just bad professional habits.
So what's considered serious? Well, it's pretty much what you'd expect. Criminal offenses like stealing or fighting, insulting students, using vulgar language, taking bribes, discriminating against students, and of course, any kind of seductive or inappropriate relationship. These are the bright red lines.
Minor misconducts, though, are still a big deal. They're often about professional neglect, things like being absent from class without a good reason, not preparing lesson plans, failing to actually finish the syllabus, or having poor relationships with students and coworkers. It all chips away at the quality of education. Which brings us to this final, crucial question. When the rules aren't enough, what guides a teacher's heart? We've seen the code of conduct, the headwork, and it tells us what to do. But teaching is filled with gray areas and countless split-second decisions. And in those moments, it's the teacher's moral compass, their heart work, that truly guides the how and the why. Wrestling with that reality is what this whole profession is about.